Okay, so this is going to be just a quick demo on how to enable tools for use with the Microsoft AI extensions to .NET 9. It's going to be a very simple project, so let's start with a basic console application. And if you don't know what tools are, it's basically a way for the AI to call back and get additional data, things that only like the local process knows, or data that you have access to but it's not open on the internet, stuff like that. It's going to be a very simple thing. We're going to ask the AI what the current date and time is, and we're going to get a response, and we're going to see how that looks. So to begin with, let's add some NuGet packages. We're going to have to add the Microsoft.Extensions.AI package, this one, and we need this one. And since this OpenAI thing already depends on the AI abstractions and stuff like that, we can add both of them together. We'll add this one, and we'll add this one. It is not enough to just add the OpenAI thing. As you saw, it depends on the abstractions thing, abstractions NuGet package, which means that that's basically interfaces and base classes and stuff like that. But the actual meat of the extensions, those are in this this first package we added. So it's not enough to just add the OpenAI package. So now we have both. Now, I'm not going to do an example using the Microsoft Extensions hosting, and I'm not going to write a web application. I'm going to write a very basic thing, focusing only on the tools. So let's see. The thing we'll be using is called IChatClient, and it requires, apparently I have a problem with my IntelliSense here, but it requires a model name and an API key. And the model name that we're going to be using is GPT-4o, and my API key is stored in environment variables like this. Now, this is going to be a IChatClient object, but in order for you to use it to actually talk to the thing, we are going to get the as IChatClient. We're going to get it as an interface instead of the class, like this. And then we can ask the AI to complete async. What is the, well, let's do a basic example first. Hello there. I can't type. Hello there. We have to do an await, and what we get back is a chat completion object. And if we basically just do console.writeLine response dot message, that looks good. Let's see what happens. So that's basically all you need in order to ask ChatGPT. That's the cloud-based version. It's not something I run locally. Of course, you can do that. You can use Olama or talk to any of the other clients, but I'm just going to use the OpenAI ChatGPT client or server for now. Let's do a more advanced query. What is the current date and time? Let's see what it says. It's unable to provide that. Depending on the model, you might actually get a response, but most likely it's going to be wrong. I think one of the other, maybe it was the Mini. Let's try that real quick. I think that actually gave a response, but it was wrong. I think it gave a date back in, no, it doesn't. So something else. But one of the models I tried gave a response saying it was someday in October 2023 or something. So you might actually get a response, but it's going to be wrong. So how can we add the capability for this to actually know the current date and time, or any other things. And I'll demonstrate a couple of things, but let's start with date and time. How can you do that? In order to do that, we have to use function invocations. Basically, we have to provide additional functions to the client here, and saying that if the AI needs to, it can call those functions, get a response, and then use the response to provide a reply. So in order to do that, we have to do this as builder thing, because this one is a dumb client. It talks to the OpenAI server. It doesn't have any advanced functionality, but what we can do is we can wrap this in another client, basically a new chat client, but it's going to be a wrapper, and this one is going to use the dumb client here, but it's going to monitor the results, and when the results contain certain things, it will intercept those and then talk back to the AI with either a reply or more data or questions and stuff like that. So we basically say that we'll build on this dumb client. We'll use function invocation, and then we'll call build, and this again will be another chat client. Basically, we have now two chat clients, one really dumb one that doesn't know anything other than how to talk to OpenAI, and we have a wrapper for this that knows about functions. We're going to talk to the outer client. It's going to talk to the inner client, and the inner client, if it comes back with a function invocation, the outer client will take care of that and then send the reply back to the inner client. I know it's a bit messy, but it sounds a bit messy, but this works. But this is not going to solve anything because we haven't actually provided any function. We've just said that, hey, there could be functions here, so it still doesn't know what the current date and time is. Now, I'm going to show afterwards one way that is wrong, but I'm going to start with the correct one so that you can stop the video if you just want to go back to playing with this AI thing. And what we have to do is we have to look at this, see that we can provide chat options. That's where we have to put the functions. So we'll new app chat options, and we'll provide tools. And this is a list. It starts out as no list, so we have to provide a list, and we'll just use the new collection syntax in .NET C#13, and we'll add AI function factory. That's a factory class that can help us provide various types of functions to this tools list. And I'm going to do a couple of different ways to do this, but let's just do the most basic one. We'll do get date, get current date, like this, and we'll like this. And it's, of course, that's not something we have. So let's go down here and define it. And let's provide a specific format like this. There's one other thing we have to do, but let's first see what happens if we try to run this. That nothing will change because I forgot to pass the options to the complete method. Let's do that. Let's try it again. And now it suddenly knows the date. It still doesn't know the time. There's additional thing here. We should use the description attribute found in system.componentModel and provide the AI with enough information to be fully able to use this. This isn't really that important for this function here because, as you saw, it figured it out by itself. But if there are special formatting things or you know more about the result than just because the AI uses the name of the function and it looks at the reply it gets. But if you know more about it, like keywords, additional information about the response or the knowledge found in response, you can provide that in description. Gets the current date in the format like this. Let's do time. Let's add that as well. See what that says. And now you can see the time. And that's basically all there is to it. That's all you need in order to use functions. You can add parameters here, you can add complex data types, and there's probably a limit to how complex these things can get, but I have, for the basic things I've tried, it works just fine. So let's try something more. Function factory.create. Let's see what we have here. We have delegates, name, and descriptions. We can actually provide this here. So let me try something. Let me say my name. And who am I? As you can see, it figured out who I was. All right. And if I actually just comment out this, you will see that it didn't have that information any other way. It's going to, I don't know exactly what the reply is going to be, but still, it isn't going to know my name. Like here, as for your identity, I don't have access to personal data or system to determine who you are. So this basically provided the AI with that kind of knowledge. Let's do a couple of more. Let's do one with parameters. Let's do two with parameters. AI function factory. Let's create get user list. Get user details. So let's do some very basic one. Let's do the user list first. Static list user data get user list. Let's define this first. Let's do age for simplicity. I still can't type. That's not right. It was a bit optimistic. Let's just invent a couple of people. Bill, 65, John, 32. And we're going to provide a description. And let's do something. Let's try just this one first. Let's see what happens if I do. How old is John? It's going to be a very basic query, but still, it doesn't understand this. So that's something it doesn't understand. Let's get the list of people. Let's see if that works. Sometimes you have to make sure the description is people is more accurate so that it knows to use a specific function, because sometimes it'll just ignore it because it doesn't see that it's relevant. But here you see it found it once we had this. But let's try something else. Let's actually make this a variable. Users. Oh, yep. And let's not return the age. age with that one. Instead say get users.select user. Let's return only the names, and we'll provide a different endpoint or function that only returns the age of a specific person. Like so. We'll return minus on the rider I have installed in the AI I have installed in rider kicks in and helps me. So now we have one function that returns only the names, and we have one function that returns the age of a specific person, neither of which contains everything in one go. So let's see what happened here. There's something wrong about this. Static local function. Let's not make it static then, maybe. Yeah, that's fine. I don't care about that one. So I'm guessing that's going to be fine again, or yeah, that's fine. Get user age. Use of okay, yeah. So we'll provide two functions, both of which uses the same internal list, and neither of which contains the complete picture. So we'll see what happens now. John is still 32 years old. To better illustrate what's happening here, we'll actually convert both of these to have a function body, statement body, and then we'll just do this. And you'll see that the AI is able to figure out that to figure out this, it has to okay, so it actually didn't check if John was a known person. It just assumed that John was a known person and going straight for this. So how old is Cindy? Let's see what happens now. Oh, it still only calls that function. But the thing is that you can actually use this to provide data that the AI will then use to call other functions. Like you could provide the list of gets a list of people containing their full names. The full name have to be provided. Let's see what happens if I put some last names on these. Bill Gates, what the heck is here? John Forsyth. See what happens now. Getting user list. Nobody named Cindy, but if I ask about John again, you will see that it first obtains the list of users and then figures out the full name and then provides that to the other function. So this is a handy way of providing data to the AI, and it can answer it based on information you only have available on your host, on the local computer, on the server that you're running this on. And of course, whatever you do, you can do in here. You can call out the APIs, you can talk to databases, you can look at files on disk, and provide a lot of information. So that's basically it. I'm going to show one thing that tripped me up and basically was the whole reason I wanted to make this video, and that is that this option, this chat option object here, can also be found here. You can see that it provides an action chat options.configure. Let's try to use that instead. Let's move this thing here up here and say options.tools semicolon. Let's remove this. So basically now we just moved the whole tool list up to the same type of options provided by configure options, because that was the first place that I found this tools list. But let's see what happens now. You're going to see a drastic change in behavior. And that is because it's going to give you back an empty response and nothing. None of the functions here were called, and you didn't even get a reply. I'm sure that if we look at the actual response here, we can probably see more information about this. But since this is the same options object that you can provide to the complete async and the other overloads and methods on this chat client object, my first go-to was to try this approach, and that doesn't work. You basically have to do this with the chat options object down here. And I'm sure you can put stuff up here that does work, but the tools list does not work. So you cannot use it. Or at least not out of the box. Again, there might be parameters and stuff you can put in there that makes it work, but this at least seems to work much better. So, and that's it. That's this video. There's probably plenty of other stuff I want to make videos about related to this these AI extensions, but that's going to be their own videos. And with that, have a nice day.